Hello, everybody. So
Hey everyone.
we're just here together, probably for about an hour or so. I know Natalie's had to get back to work. This is her lunch break, and so we have nothing on the schedule other than it's an anniversary for my channel. It's 2 years going, and we were sitting here thinking about, well, when did we first meet? And some of it was easy because I think I had met Estelle because one of her videos was served up to me through SEO, which she's known for.
There you go.
So I knew how I met her, and so this is kind of interesting. So maybe we'll delve into that a little bit. But I'm gonna let my all my friends who've come today introduce themselves. And I did, I was hoping for some other people as well, but there were people who couldn't make it, which is fine. I think I'm missing Morgan. She's like a huge instrumental part of my life as being my critique partner. But is that me? But she had to work, which I figured was probably the case. But yeah, so I'm missing her right now. Okay, so we'll start. We'll go clockwise is easier for me to remember. If you guys want to introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, where they can find you, what you do.
Sure. So I'm Estelle van der Velde. I'm an indie author. Hey, like everyone here. I'm an author tuber, like everyone here as well. And I'm about to release a book called SEO for Authors on July 25th this year. So you can put that in your calendars. And SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. So it's the art of optimizing content for search engines like Google, but also Amazon.
Nice. I will definitely be putting that on my calendar. So
you can sign up as an ARC reader, right? No, ARC reader, right? Yes, an ARC reader. If you want to sign up as an ARC reader, she has a sign up form for one of her latest videos.
Cool. Sorry, that was good to know. I'm Hananya. I also have a channel, obviously. But yeah, I post videos twice a week there, and I have a podcast as well. You can find it linked on my channel somewhere. And just happy to be here, and congrats to Shannon for her anniversary.
Thank you. Do you want to tell everyone what you write? What genre?
Sure. I'm kind of just all over the place with my genres, mostly. I like to write whatever, and mostly have some romance plot in there. But I'm currently trying to revise a historical romance. So.
Awesome. Hi, I am Emma. I'm a UK-based writer. I'm actually a hybrid author. I'm traditionally published with Joffrey Books, and I also have some books that are self-published and that are more coming later this year. I also have an AuthorTube channel. No surprise, and Hananya was laughing at me earlier for pointing that out on my stream. I'm sure that SD has put links and stuff down below, but come and find me. We have a lot of fun over there. There's lots of live streams and kind of vlogs and author tips and tricks and book recommendations, and it would be great to know you better.
I forgot I was going to do that, to put the links in there, because I set the stream up really quick. I do not have links down below, but they will be. If you're watching this on a replay, they're going to be there, and I'm going to start working on it right now. So.
Excellent. I'm Andy. I run the Easy Graphics channel, and I just talk about my journey and my experience and my knowledge about anything self-publishing. So I write at the moment nonfiction. I've got some low content, no content stuff as well. But at the moment, I've been focused mostly on the nonfiction. I'm planning to transition in the future at some point into the fiction area. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to write yet, so I'm always open to suggestions. But yeah, feel free to come check out my channel. Watch a few videos, drop a few comments, make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, sweetie. God, he hasn't talked at all. And the moment I unmute myself, it's like, "Hey, Mom," then I'm gonna be done.
Best intro ever.
Yeah.
Seriously, we don't want to hear from you. Sorry, Natalie. Come on, let's bring the real star out.
Exactly. That is my channel pretty much. I, like everyone here, I'm also an author too, but I am Natalie Locke. My website is natalielockebooks.com, which is funny because I don't have a book out. And there's like kind of course, there's a constant plan, but there's not an active plan. So it will happen at some point because I am also a full-time employee. Stop squeaking the dog toy. I'm full-time employee, full-time mom, and I would say full-time writer too, because the other two didn't cut into my sleep enough and everything. Because I don't like to say part-time, because honestly, it takes over my life. Like every bit of that, it just melds into each other. So I'm full-time everything all the time, such as my desk right now, where I got this personal computer, and then I got my work computer, and it's a show. But yeah, if you go to my website, natalielocbooks.com, I have archived monthly newsletters there. You can sign up for future ones, which I just had one released today that I didn't even start writing until yesterday. And I talk about why. And for anyone who has seen me around, will see I have a new setup because I moved this past month. And I was in the guest bedroom for a second, and we realized... Good? Yeah. Lilo helped you get up there? Oh, I also have 2 dogs, Lilo and Stitch. So if you ever think you can beat me at Disney trivia, think again. Just saying. But yeah, that's pretty much it. With the interruptions is pretty normal.
I'd like to say hey to everybody who's come. I did drop all of your guys' channel links in the chat box. So for those who are watching, you can get to their channels. And first one was Margaret, who couldn't be here because she is traveling today. So Spirit from the Road. Author Lauren Dell, wow, we reached 1,000 subscribers, on way to go. So I kind of mentioned this already to a couple of the panel people here who came, that I thought about doing the AuthorTube anniversary tag. But one of the questions was, well, who did you meet in the last year? And I thought, there's no way. I have a bad memory. And I met a ton of people, because a year ago when I celebrated my 1-year anniversary, I just hit 200 subscribers. So that's 800 people added. That I don't know all of them, right? And but there's been a ton of AuthorTubers I've met along the way, especially when the AuthorTube writing conference happened. I met a lot of new people that way. So yeah, so I didn't want to forget anybody. So, hello, RC, how are you? And of course, Easy Graphics say hello, and Nanya. Hey, everybody. Nicole, hello, how are you doing? Lovely people. Hey, cool gamer. Let's see, be sure to post Coho links in the description. Thank you. Oh, geez. Yeah, I meant to do it. I told myself to do it. This day has been awful. So if you guys didn't know, I went to go do my normal live stream this morning. I have StreamYard. I've used StreamYard for well over a year. I went to go connect to hit the live button, and it said my YouTube video on YouTube had been deleted. So I couldn't connect and go live. So I went and looked. My video was there in YouTube Studio, and it was on YouTube. It was on YouTube. So I tried to connect again. It wouldn't connect. And I tried several times. I said, forget it. I had to start out. By then, I just had a headache. I mean, it probably was already there. I think, I'm under quite a bit of stress right now because with the AuthorTube writing conference coming up, I have a book that's coming out. And I think I am, what they call it, clenching the jaw at night. So there's a name for it that my dentist called it, TMJ. So, under stress, I tend to clench my jaw more. And so I think that already just didn't help, lend it itself to me having a headache. So there's the sign up form for the ARC, and put the channels in here. And it was like, hello, Kyra. Sheena's poor face at the mention of link. It was like she saw it was. I was like, oh my God, did I forget it?
Yeah. When you went like this, I was like, no, I know that face. That's I had good intentions. Thank you for the reminder.
This is not usually something I flub on. So this is, that was big. Like, oh no.
You're fine. You get a pass, sweetheart. Okay.
I'm sorry. It's fine. Probably everybody knows us all anyway, because we're all friends here. It's all good.
If you needed any inclination of this is live and we have lives outside of this. Here we go.
And this is just a busy time of the year for me, especially with the AuthorTube writing cup. Why did I think it would be a good thing to put it in June instead of leaving it in July when my 1-year anniversary is now? But that's okay. No, right, 2-year anniversary. Me. I was thinking of it last year though. Lilo in Stitch, Nicole says. And hello from Dreaming Truth. I love Stitch's gifs.
Gifts. I say gifs personally.
I say gifs. I say gifs as well, because gifs just sounds stupid and sounds like it should.
Gif is peanut butter, in my opinion.
Yes. What is toilet cleaner? Yeah.
There's peanut butter and toilet cleaner. I was gonna say, but it's never associated with memes. So I tend to use GIF myself.
GIF.
Yeah.
Hello from Tina. Hello. Author and Sophie. Thank you. And Laura Gomez, hello. And Read with Dr. B, hello. And try to see if there's anybody else who's come in. Oh, hello, Savion. How are you doing? Hi, guys. And some back and forth. Yeah, TMJ is terrible pain. Yeah. And I have learned to like try to meditate a little bit before going to sleep so that I would get over that. But then I haven't been doing that for the last few weeks because I've had a lot in my mind. So, and then Dr. B, congrats on 2 years. Thank you. Morgan, hi. She said she'd try and stop by and say hi.
Oh.
So, and well, there's a lot of comments. Thank you guys so much for coming. And I think I got through everybody who has come today. So one thing I thought about right before they started, because Estelle and I were like, well, how long have we known each other? And she was like, I think it's just about a year. So I actually went to her channel because I remembered that I had watched one of her videos, and that's how I got to know her. I didn't remember exactly how I had seen it at first until I saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, this was served up to me in my feed. And let me see, that's not her. Oh gosh, really? The lawn people would be here do my lawn right now. Of course. Where am I at? This is Emma's channel. This is...
Could be worse. It could be you having to do it right after this, after the day you've had.
I know, right? So it looks like the first video that I watched was January 18th of last year. So that's how long I've known Estelle. So I thought, oh, I think that's probably the longest person I've known. But I was like, wait, how long have I known Andy? Because I think I've known him for quite a while, maybe the same time period. So I went to go look at his channel, and the first one that I commented on was October 13th of 2020, which is the year I started. So that was kind of cool. And then Emma, and I do remember coming across Emma's videos, but I honestly don't remember how I found her. I'm pretty sure we were not in a stream because I didn't know she was streaming until after I met her.
I didn't start streaming until Nano.
Okay.
It was in November. I think my first one was like the 1st of November, and Margaret was amazing. She came and helped me, and Genevieve Scholl as well came along, and they were so fantastic because I was so nervous and messing everything up.
So the first video I commented on for you was in May of last year. May 30th of 2022. So I don't know if I knew you before that. I don't think I did. I don't think I knew you in any other format except for the videos at first. So, and then Ananya, I met when she signed up to be part of the Secret Santa, the AuthorTube Secret Santa last year, when I saw her name come through. And she wasn't only the only new person I met, but I go check out people I don't know. I don't know who they are. So I go check them out. And then I actually got assigned her. So then I start, consuming all of her videos. So that's how I met her. And then Natalie, we were talking about this. I think we've met probably through, I'm thinking it's Barrett's channel. I'm pretty certain it was Barrett's channel. So yeah. And the first time I appeared on his channel, and it was like probably 2 weeks after I started watching his channel, was Halloween of October 2020. So I might have met you right about the same time as Andy. But you're on mute.
My memory sucks and everything. Oh, by the way, I'm like always on mute just because I don't know when the dogs or my children are going to go into chaos mode. Yeah. So it helps because otherwise I'm not quick on mute. So I just stay on mute unless I plan to chime in.
I think Morgan, I met her also through Barrett's channel. And it was when Barrett said, hey, this is open call. If you're looking for a critique partner or beta read or whatever, tell us who you're looking for or what type of person you're looking for, what your project is, how many words or something or whatever. And I can't remember if we found each other, but I feel like Barrett kind of made that connection for us because he knew we were both fantasy writers. So
I like the open calls and stuff because I feel like everyone on AuthorTube has found at least one person that like aligns with them for a critique partner or what have you. Like Chandra is my person, and I know we met on Zara's channel when I started doing flash fiction, and then we started doing flash fiction live, which by the way is usually on Saturdays. We're still trying to figure that out since I changed time zones, so stay tuned. But I know for you, Shada, one of my first memories was when you were on Barrett's channel doing Blood of Lily, if I remember correctly. And that's when I learned the most because talking about the research that you had to do for it. And I always found that interesting, especially now because I'm reading a series. I don't know how old it is. It's the Fever series. If anyone's ever read those, like Dark Fever is the first one, Blood Fever is the second. But someone goes to Ireland in this situation. And so now I'm like, okay, now that I'm reading these, I definitely, yours, I have all of yours. I have Blood of Lily on my Kindle, but I was like, I need to read it now that I'm delving into this world of Fae and all that. So
you saying that, I think I must have met Morgan maybe a little bit later, because she was my critique partner for my third book in that series, which came out in June. And I think we got connected because I put out the second book in January. So I wasn't even working on the third book yet. So it had to be like January or February when I met her. Sorry.
Listen, as long as you find your people, you're fine.
Yeah. And it's really great. We were, I mean, I think we work really well together. She's an awesome critique partner. And, you know, I think it is hard to find someone who you mesh with like so well enough that you want to continue to keep working with them. So,
yeah. And then I think after you and I met, it really just became between like AWC, any of the relays or whatever, we would just end up being in the same groups and like on each other's channels. My son's repeating my name right now.
It reminds me like Stewie. He was like, Mom, Mama, Mother.
I actually need to track that down, because now that my oldest, I have a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old. And now that my oldest has a cell phone and everything, I'm going to change the ringtone to Stewie going, Mom, Mommy, Mama, Mama, what?
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I got it memorized.
I'm sure there's other messages here I'm missing, guys. I appreciate you guys so much coming. Eva, did I say hello to Eva? I don't remember.
Sorry, I'm just blowing up the chat as well.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
It keeps the chat engaging. I actually love it when the chat like ends up having this whole side conversation, and then we go, wait, what happened?
Yeah, I'm just hoping no one asks me how long I've known anyone or anything for, because I have really bad memory. Like really.
I do too. So, I can't put a time frame on it. Like honestly, I'm just siding with Shannon going, yeah, Barrett's stream sounds about right. And I remember seeing you on there for Blood of Lily, and that was that's where my memory goes.
November of 2020.
Yeah.
So I was on his channel for that. And again, I was thinking I knew Morgan longer than just being on Barrett's channel where we connected as critique partners. So again, it could have been longer too. I don't know. Some of these is kind of hard. And I don't think Morgan she wasn't putting out videos. She was doing live streams then.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that if you like are lurking in the chats during live streams for sprints and stuff, because I have a sprint usually going on while I'm working to help me be like, okay, I got to get through this document. And someone has a timer going for 20 minutes. And for some reason, even though I know you can watch not live, I like live. I don't know why. As if I need a distraction through chat also.
Yeah. I think this is Andy said we should bookmark do another YouTube anniversary every year for 10 years. That would be so awesome. I think the lawnmower is about to come back by again. When I was like thinking of trying to come up with ideas what to do today, and I was like, is there like a YouTube anniversary tag? The first thing I saw was a video from 8 years ago that was YouTube's 10-year anniversary. So it gets their 18 years old, or thereabout. And on it, they had the artist who did the Womp Womp Gong style.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because that was that came out in 2012, by the way, if anyone wants to feel old. Because really? I had just started my job, and my job had a training situation, so I didn't have access to a lot of electronics. And when I got like released back into the world after the training, everyone was like, oh my God, there's a new dance. And I'm like, what? I missed a dance, and it was Gangnam Style. And I was just like, oh my God, like what happens when you just go under a rock for a bit?
It was my introduction to YouTube, because my kiddo, my oldest son, who's now 22, he just turned 22. He was like, Mom, you got to watch this video. And I think he was what, 10 or 11 then. He's like, watch this video. And I'm like, what is this? Where is this at? Where are you watching this? And that was like my introduction to YouTube, which it was their 10-year anniversary, I guess. So, or maybe that was within their 10 years. They were talking about things probably that happened in their 10 years, probably. But yeah, Author and Sophie, Shannon, you run our first write-a-thon. I was thinking about that just the other day, because they're about to have another write-a-thon. And I was like, I was there for the very first one. I've only missed one so far because I went to the conference in November. I was trying to make it, but yeah. Before I knew Barrett, I don't know how long Chandra knew Barrett, LOL. So let's see. I've been on, this is my 2-year anniversary. Estelle, how long have you been on YouTube?
I have been on YouTube since April 2020.
Oh, so it's pretty close to me then.
Yeah, I started just because I wanted to, document my things as an author, and because it's a weird thing in Belgium, but basically my employer put us all in furlough for one day because of COVID. So I was like, what can I do for one day? And then I started YouTube.
And Hananya, how long have you been on? Well,
I was gonna say my anniversary was literally last month. So
I'd say, like, I know, but I don't know if my audience knows. But yeah.
yeah. So 1st of May 2nd of May 2022.
Okay. And then I know we just did a 1 year for Emma as well.
Yeah, but I can't think when exactly it was. I was thinking March the 20th, but then I realized that's my kiss anniversary with my husband. That's not my YouTube anniversary.
Well, if you put them all on the same date, you can remember all of it.
No, I'm busy on my kiss anniversary. There's a lot of kissing to do. I can't add in YouTube stuff then. So yeah, I can't actually remember when it was. I knew it. It was probably the same date as Hananya's, as we're like very in tune, it seems, at the moment. So around the time. But yeah, it's been like, I don't know, like a year and a month or two that I've been on here. But I didn't really get to know people until, I don't know. Well, November was my first live stream, but it wasn't until this year that I kind of properly got to know people, I think. And I've only known Panda since I became part of like our YouTube mastermind groups. That's only been about 3 months, but there's a lot of stalking that I've put in since then. I have a lot of information on that domestic man of mystery. It has to be said. I've done my work.
I'm not at all intimidated by that fact.
It's because he knows it's true and he's just got used to it.
Yeah, I had to look mine up. So I've been on YouTube since May 9th, 2020. So I've been on it for a while, but I actually took a break for quite a few months. Call it mild burnout or just straight up burnout. And yeah, I'm just trying to get back into it. And I'm not as active in the AuthorTube community as I would like. I just don't have enough bandwidth to go around. It's like spreading butter. There's only so much that can be spread across awesome channels everywhere. So I've had to be strategic about where I put my time. And yeah, I don't mind hanging out with stalkers. It's all good. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, did you say it was 2020? I missed it because of the lawnmower.
Yeah, May 9th, 2020. That's when I started officially. I did quite a few videos and then I took a break after a few months because I burnt out basically. So now I'm trying to get back into it and take it nice and easy, not put as much pressure. I know you guys are doing awesome, which is great. And I'm kind of waving at you as you pass by. But it's all good. It's all good. I am really happy for you, Shannon, especially with your monetization so quickly. And Emma's going to reach that really soon. I'm pretty sure about that. And that's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, you can cross everything, Elma. It's going to happen soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good.
And Natalie.
Mine was July of 2020.
We've got a lot of 2020 here. We got class of 2020.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pretty much I started working from home because I ended up doing a NaNoWriMo without meaning to, because I was new to it. So I had this idea in my head for a book for like 5 years. I finally sat down and wrote it. I was able to write 68,000 words in 28 days because I like Excel spreadsheets, so I was able to track it. And so after I wrote that, I started doing research on like manuscripts and stuff, like how do I get a literary agent and stuff. And that's when I stumbled into AuthorTube and realized a lot of things that I did wrong because it's a first draft. Yeah. Why not? And yeah. And then from there, just kind of evolved. And then I took a break because I had like travel for work. That was like 7 months there. Then started back and I started doing Flash Fiction Live, and that's kind of been the genre hopping world I've been in since now it's an editing world as well. So
Eva says we're all COVID babies.
Some people had children because what else are you going to do trapped in the house with your significant other? Other people had hobbies. And so I haven't published yet. No. But I did query a lot. Still there. It's okay.
Wait,
but
I 2021. I didn't start in 2020. I started in 2021.
I was wondering about that the whole time. I was like, is my math wrong? Because that means I've been on for 3 years, and everyone's saying 2020, and I'm like, wait, what's math life? What does it mean? Okay, so 2021, definitely 2-year anniversary.
Yeah. I guess I was. I've had a headache today, guys. I'm trying to fight it off.
You're doing great. Stop. Like, no one's noticing anything wrong or off. Okay. You're doing just fine.
Thank you.
So, what was the scariest thing about going on camera for you for the first time? Like, what do you?
That's a good question.
Yeah. The scariest thing for me, it stems from the reason why I went on camera and did YouTube, which was to start an author platform. And I did not do social media before that. Like, I had a Twitter account that had like 2 posts from 2013. I had a Facebook account, which I started in college so I could find people to do my research, because I did research in psychology. And that was it. So I started YouTube to have an author platform because I was told over and over again, you need an author platform to reach people with your books. And so my fear was I was going to put out content and no one was ever going to see it anyways. Of course, now that's kind of morphed because all the content I put out was for writers and not for readers anyways.
So was there any time, like, technological difficulties that you had? Like, were you like going, oh my God, like, okay, so for one thing, I've had to modify, because this is my bedroom. So back there, I realized, trying to move my hand the right direction, right there was where I was keeping the dirty clothes hamper. And I was like, I am absolutely not doing a live stream with my dirty clothes just right there. So that moved locations. Have you ever done anything like that where you just were forgetting camera situation or mic situation?
And I didn't. I was very, very careful with everything I did, but I had issues.
Of course, you're perfect.
No. I had issues with figuring out lighting. Like, this lighting is fine, but I was like, I wanted to do all like the cool color lighting and everything. And so I played around with this. So some of my videos are really dark because I couldn't figure it out. And I just said, forget it. I just stopped doing it, but I still haven't figured it out. I about fell over one video, but that video is not up there anymore. I fell over. I went, oh!
I feel like we've all done that, because I feel like Zara fell over in a video or live stream or something. Chandra's chair. A lot of my streams, and I'm going to do it now, is that my son's playing with my seat, and then that happens. That's usually what happens in my streams. Or I got Spencer literally on my back. Or anything. No. So, did you struggle with balancing streaming and like writing, where to a point like you were kind of maybe not writing as much because you were streaming, or you were, for your mental well-being, you had to cut back on streaming because it just seemed so much of a struggle?
Mine was not streaming, but making videos. Even before I met the AuthorTube community, I think it was weighing on me. Like, there was no one seeing my videos. I had like 11 views for all my videos. Like, that was like the same amount of people, the same people I knew were watching it. And I was trying to do it consistently. Like they said, you do it consistent every week. I was doing it consistent every week. No one was really watching it. And I was not writing as much, but I was also learning everything for the first time, like how to shoot video, how to light, how to, I look like a ghost at first because I'm really, really pale. So I learned how to put makeup on the right way.
Hey. I embrace the pace, all right? I don't feel like being called out on ghost.
For me, it was distracting to watch myself because I was like, oh my gosh. And then edit. And this took so much time to learn all these things I was not writing. And I had my first book already written. I had it written a year out before I published it because I was trying to set up how I was going to set up my author business to go forward. And I do remember I made a video. I never published it. I made a video because I started in June, and I made the video. It was beginning of August. And so I didn't meet anyone in the AuthorTube community until October. And in August, I made a video where I said, I can't do this anymore. It was fun, but I'm going to leave YouTube. And I never published that video because I was like, okay, get my head out of that. Let's try again. So yeah. And then last year, part of my goals was to write so much, and I did not write as much. And so I thought I need to cut back on YouTube. But then I was afraid I was going to lose my watch hours. And I thought, well, how can I marry the goal of writing more and not lose what I've got going on YouTube? And that's where I started live streaming. And that works for me.
100% live streaming to me is where it's at, because editing videos takes so long.
Yeah, very long time.
I'm so glad you didn't quit. I'm really glad you didn't quit. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here right now. Like literally.
When did the podcast come? How did that idea stem? For anybody who doesn't know, Shannon is a part of the group that does the I can't do. I'm going to stop.
Publishing tips and tricks.
Thank you. I was like, self-publishing. Come on, spit it. But it's a great podcast, by the way, and it's not just authors on there, because she had me on there too. So now I haven't published a darn thing. But I go to potty. Okay, go potty, buddy. Thank you. But that is something that's been kind of new, but it's also on your channel as well.
So I actually thought about that at the same time as I thought about the AuthorTube writing conference. I just knew the conference was going to be bigger, and I didn't know exactly how I wanted to approach it. So I started writing up and I have both for the self-publishing tips and tricks and for the AuthorTube writing conference. I have like a guide of what it's supposed to do. So I wrote up a guide for the self-publishing tips and tricks, and I was in the middle of writing it, and I thought I really like to do this with other people. And so the first two people I thought of, well, Ben, because Ben Pick was the one who I first met in the AuthorTube community, who introduced me to the AuthorTube community. So I had to know Morgan already, because we started the podcast last year. Last year was 2022. Yeah, so we started the podcast in January. Our first episode was January 1st of 2022. And I already knew Morgan. And I met Morgan. I got connected with her for the critique partner. So at least I think so. Yeah, because that's how I met her. So we must have already just linked up, and we just didn't critique each other's work until a little bit later, because I didn't have the third book going. I was writing the second book still at that time. So I reached out to her, and I reached out to Ben. And those were the two people that I had first on my plate. I had other people lined up that I thought I would ask them if they said no. But both of them said yes. So I was like, oh, I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to ask anybody else. So I gave them my vision, my guide, what I was thinking of. And then we met and we figured out what we wanted to do, what we want the episodes to look like. And then, it was good. Did I miss someone? Jesse. Hi, Jesse. There it is. Hi, Jesse.
Anybody else got questions? Because I don't want to bombard the conversation here.
I'm glad you have something to ask me.
So I just find it interesting, because I mean it's a celebration, and usually anniversaries are a moment to reflect and everything. Oh, here's one. Did you think you would be this far? And everything, no. Like have three, what was your goal? Like, what was the goal of, like, you're like, I might be somewhere in a year.
Well, when I first started, my goal was to reach readers, and I didn't. I realized probably about 6 months in, I was like, oh, I'm not making content for readers. I'm making content for writers. But by then I was getting into the AuthorTube community. So I thought, well, if I switch my channel, because I did seriously consider doing just reader content and getting rid of all my self-publishing stuff, that I would lose the audience I connected with. And I really enjoyed being part of the community. I mean, there's a lot to be said about being part of the AuthorTube community. It's very supportive, and, writing is lonely. So I don't know. I mean, when I started thinking, what else can I do? I thought of the podcast and the AuthorTube writing conference. Those were kind of my visions for the channel. I don't think I really thought much more beyond that. I do have another thought for a podcast, but I don't have the time for it.
Okay, so you do have your limits.
Yes. I don't have time for that.
But okay, so and you've made connections through these endeavors that you've had, which goes into the next question from Lauren of through your connections, have you met any AuthorTubers in person?
The only person I've met in person is Dale L. Roberts. So I really do want to meet more people. And that was just because we were going to the same conference, and I knew he was
gonna, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I knew I knew he was going. And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, we should, meetup or whatever. And he was like, yeah, he wasn't there for the whole thing. Him and Kelly, that was his wife, Kelly. They went to travel around Las Vegas and visit different things. So they only came for a couple nights, or one night, and then but 2 days. So we met up that night for dinner, and I got to meet, I guess he's on YouTube, but he's not really like an author tuber, Evan Gao from Story Origin. So I met him as well. We had dinner with Story Origin. We had dinner with Evan Gao. I actually hung out with Evan Gao for a couple nights.
For anyone who doesn't know, Story Origin is a website where you can like publish selectively to like beta readers and such, where they can respond and rate your chapters or however you want to devise it. But it's a really great for beta reading. There's a free service and a paid service, but totally worth it. So I just had it.
It's also like BookFunnel, in that you can do paid, or you can do promos, cross promotes with other authors and or big groups. Yeah, so there's actually a lot. And now he's built it like my website for my personal author website has just my first book out. It just all shows it's got Brother Lily, Soul of Roses coming. Well, Evan Gao set up where you could do custom links through and I pay for Story Origin. He set it up for custom links, and I got to be one of the first ones to test it. So now when you hit the books button on my website, it goes to a Story Origin page, but it doesn't look like it's just Story Origin. It has all my books listed there. So I don't have to do anything to add my books to that. If I put it in Story Origin, it's going to get added to that page automatically. So I don't have to go and do anything with it, which I was not able to do anything with it since my second book came out in January of last year. But
there's a question. I'm not sure if you're catching this.
We've got a couple of questions, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Eva asked, I'm not sure if there's one before it, but Eva asked, what does your family think of your AuthorTube career?
Ooh.
Yeah. I think at first my husband didn't really understand it, but he didn't really understand my writing, what it meant to be a writer. Like he just thought I would just go sit down, write something and be done. Oh, there it is. It's done. Like, no. It's like lots of thinking. It's lots of rewriting. It's throw that out. Try this again.
Crying.
Why would you get rid of words?
Saving multiple versions.
And some of it, I realized I didn't know enough about myself as a writer to explain to him, like, which now I can. But like sometimes he would come and check on me, and I'm just sitting there staring off in space. And at first I felt guilty about that. And then I realized that's part of my writing process. I'm a visual person. I see things happening in my head, and then I write about it. So I need that time. It looks like I'm not doing anything, but I am. So he didn't really get the whole YouTube thing. He's been very supportive. I mean, he watched like every video I put out in the beginning. He was like one of my 11 people who watched.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. And my oldest son too was off in the military, but he'd watch all of them too. And he would text me.
That's great, because I signed into my husband's account and would press play and then like the video for him. He didn't watch it, but I did go to his
And comment, you're the greatest, you're the most beautiful
No,
woman
I
in
wouldn't
the world.
comment.
You're so talented.
I wouldn't comment because his I try to keep like my personal life and my author life, because Locke is a pen name and such. So, have you thought about pen names and for different genres and such?
So that's a question of me.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we all can answer. I mean, I can answer. I met Zara Hoffman and Chandra Arthur in person. We did a little retreat together. Yeah, before I moved. Now I'm further away from both. Okay, but so pen names.
Oh, I streamed with Morgan in 2021. I was thinking I streamed with her at some point for a nano, but
there you go.
Which nano it was. Okay, so I knew her then. Okay. When I was streaming every day. And I think I'm losing track of the years, Morgan.
I think we all are. It's just been 2020 version 1, 2020 version 2, 2020 version 3.
So pen names. So first of all, I'm not good at social media. I like YouTube because I feel like it's creative. And Instagram and could be creative because you have pictures and stuff, but I just felt like it was going into the void. Where here I feel like I'm connecting to people. Again, it's with other writers, readers, all those writers are readers as well. But I just feel it's very creative endeavor, but I don't really like social media. And the more pen names you have, the more you have to do for social media if you're wanting to get discovered for those pen names. And you would argue that I have a pen name right now, but to be honest, I'm using SD Houston because it is part of my name. It's just the easiest part of my name. Shannon often gets misspelled. Houston always gets misspelled. And then my last name is longer than Houston. But, you know, so I was like, you know, what's going to make this the easiest? Let's just make this the easiest. We'll get rid of Shannon because Shannon gets misspelled all the time. I could become Sharon or I become 2N Shannon. So ST Houston just felt like the easiest way to do it. So I'm using my name. I'm just using a shorter version.
It rolls off the tongue easily.
Yeah.
My lock is a play off my last name.
Oh, okay.
And then plus I just went on like, well, there's writer's block, then lock and key and everything.
Yeah.
I like puns. Surprise. So if you change genres, do you think you would change to another name, or would you keep the same? Have you thought about other genres?
Yeah, so I do want to do okay, so I say no, but
never say never.
I know. There is a book that I have sort of like written down thoughts for it's like an outline thought, I guess, or thought of outline. It's not an outline, it's just a thought process, but I put it in order for a book that if I ever publish it, I will not connect it to me in any way. So, because it is like so far outside of my genre that I would completely confuse my readers. And it's not something that I would like want to write in all the time. It's just something that would be like, here, I have an idea. I just want to get it out. So it'd be one of those things I get out there. If people find it, they find it. I'm not going to work.
Is it dark?
Yes. Very, very
okay.
dark.
I will beta read. I volunteer. I volunteer to beta read. I want to beta read. I write dark stuff.
Yes, but it is really bad.
Oh,
dark.
No. We can talk about
okay.
My first one. Trust me, it's dark.
And I keep dreaming of this book. So I feel like I need to get it out. And I've started writing. I've got 2 chapters of it written, but I don't have time right now. But I thought, you know, when I get back to this, I'm never going to connect it to me. Never going to connect it to me. It's way out there. You guys will be like, this is not Shannon. This can't be Shannon.
I'm gonna nominate Emma to do the stalking. So Emma,
Thank you.
Yes. See, now you've created a game.
Yeah.
It's a game now.
I'm not very good at stalking pen names. I've got a friend of mine who writes erotica. She won't tell me what pen name she writes that under, and I have tried everything. I've tried her maiden name, I've tried her kids' names, I've tried varieties of her names and everything, and I can't find it. It's really annoying me.
The key is to find the title of it, or if she publishes on anything. Yeah. So what writing systems has evolved as you've been writing, Shannon? I know you've done dictation before. I know you've typed things. Like, what software has been part of your evolution?
So yeah, I've tried the dictation. I don't have like a certain dictation one that I use. I like Speech Texter, which is speechtexter.com. It's free. It's very similar to Word. Neither one can really understand me. So, I mean, most of these systems don't understand everything that you say, but then I'm also partially tone deaf. So I can't, there's certain words, like if I say go in the house, it always comes out as and in the document. I don't know why it doesn't understand my in. But yeah, so I use that as far as like, I tried Scrivener. I've tried, for a moment, I tried Notion. I tried all these different things, and I just realized it's just more than what I want to do when I can just open a document and just start talking and get it out. So I did, with the programs, I've added in Chat GPT. So I love to do a lot of brainstorming stuff. Like for instance, I threw in to Chat GPT, like I like to make up names. I am right now for my series I'm working on in the location where it's at. I take like prefixes and suffixes and then roots of Latin and Norse names, and I put them in different orders to come up with different words, names that mean different things. And I spent time doing this in the beginning on my own. I did all the research for this. Like, okay, what could mean this in Latin? What could mean this? What could mean that? And I looked at different root trees and things like that. I spent hours and hours doing this. And then as I was preparing to write my second book, I started, I was like, oh, Chat GPT, let me use that. And I would come up with it would give me a list of like 20 names showing me all the different versions and what it meant and how it could fit my character. You do have to be pretty specific with your prompts. Like you can't just say, I need a male name, because then you're going to get a whole bunch of male names. Like I need a male name that is for a character who is like this and their favorite thing is this, or their hobby is this. So you can kind of get something that means, because I like names that have meanings. So I have that. I also like to use it. Like I knew that my mermaid in my next book is going to have so many sisters. I think I decided on 5. I can't remember now. Because the original Little Mermaid story, she has 6 or 7 sisters. I can't remember what it is now, but she's got quite a few. You probably know because you do the.
I think it's 7 because it's
7,
supposed to
okay.
be the 7 seas. So it's 7 daughters total.
So she has 6 sisters.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was
if
thinking,
I remember correctly.
Yeah. And I think I dropped it down to 5 because that was easier for my story. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what do my mermaids look like? I was like, if they have a jewel that looks like this, their skin color will be along this spectrum. Their tail color will be along this spectrum. Their hair color, because I have it where like their skin colors are pastel colors. Their tails are jewel colors, but they cannot complement the pastel colors. It has to be something that contrasts. But then the hair can be jewel tones and can match either or complement.
When you say contrast, do you mean like opposite sides
opposite?
of the pinwheel?
Or not, it doesn't have to be exact opposite, but like I didn't want like a lavender skin tone with a purple tail, like a lavender skin tone.
So like orange and purple is
Yeah.
the exact opposite.
And there's so many combinations. And so I just thought, here, let me just put all my thoughts into Chat GPT and tell me what combinations it can give me. So I've used it for that. So yeah, so I use Chat GPT quite a bit. Richard, take a drink.
Yes, everybody hydrate. Just to make sure. Just because we're not sprinting doesn't mean you don't take care of yourself.
Fictionary is one I've just started using. I was already going to try it out.
Really?
They are now our sponsor for the AWC, and I've got 1 year free to their program. But I was just trying it out. I had it on my list. It was my second one on my list of programs to try when I was contacted about trying them out. So I was already going to use them. And so it works well for a writing process of mine, which is that I've learned that outlining does not work for me, makes my writing boring. For me, it's boring. So I do what they call reverse outline. So, but I put my story into there and it split it all up and start putting it all together. And it was basically a reverse outline. So I was like, oh, I didn't need to do a reverse outline. If I had known to put it in here first, it would have just split it all out for me. And I could have done, I could just figured out.
So that's software that has made your life easier since the beginning of starting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about a current story that's dark that will have a pen name that you've been dreaming about. And I'm assuming the dream was the inspiration for it.
I don't actually remember where I got the inspiration. I think it was when I was trying to figure out what because I like science fiction as well, right? And so I was like, okay, what do they have in science fiction romance category? Because, fantasy romance has really taken off. And I was like, well, what's out there for science fiction fantasy or romance? It's mostly alien romance. That's mostly what we find, which then leads into a subgenre of but it's a different subgenre, it's a related subgenre of monster romance, which I didn't know was out there. So all kinds of different romances out there. So
like paranormal romance, there's like so many subsets.
So I've read it. And so, it falls. That I think gave me the initial inspiration.
So then what was the inspiration for like the other ones? So there's your published Blood of Lily, but I'm assuming you have other books that you've maybe finished or stories that you finished, but they are not like edit ready, publish ready.
Yeah.
So like, where's the inspiration coming from? Is it something that just mulls in your mind for a bit?
Yeah. And I do find that I have things that will stay in my mind for a really long time. So I'm sorry, you guys, do you want to say anything? You guys want to talk?
Yes, please butt in over me anytime you want. Y'all can answer some of the questions. What are some of y'all's experiences? Because I know we're celebrating Shannon, but like this is a team thing. I'm taking over. Like I'm gonna shush now.
I think it would be fun to know if anybody else has met anybody off AuthorTube, because I haven't, but I'm hoping to later this year. There's going to be a meetup of some of the UK AuthorTubers. I think that would be really fun, but I imagine that we'll all be desperate to film it, so it might just be really awkward because we'll all be there with our cameras and our phones trying to film each other and taking turns. I don't know. What about you, Hananya? Have you met any other AuthorTubers?
I met Angela Ann. I don't know if anyone knows her, but I met her when she was in Antwerp and then also when she was in Amsterdam. So I saw her twice.
Isn't she Canadian?
American. Actually.
American. Okay, because it's funny how we got our like setup. There's like the UK authors, the Canadian authors, the West Coast American authors, the East Coast American authors. Like we got a whole setup here.
It's so huge. The US is just so huge. Like, it's difficult for you guys. What about you, Estelle? Has anybody or maybe when you lived in London?
Actually, I started YouTube when I was back in Belgium already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish I had started way sooner than that, because then I would have lots of, videos about London. But no, I was too shy, and I didn't speak any English at that time. So,
Really?
yeah, when I moved to London, I didn't speak any English.
So you learned it while you were in London?
Oh,
Yeah, I took courses.
that's incredible.
That is really amazing. So you learnt a new language in like how long did you take to learn?
Yeah, in like 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I've been using English for like most of my life. I'm a bit older, but
Yeah,
and I
English
can't
is my first language, and I still suck at it.
exactly. That's what I was gonna
To
say.
be
I'm like,
fair,
no.
I had English courses from I was still in high school, so I was not a total beginner, but I still was a beginner at that language.
Okay, and you said you took courses in English. Where? Because I've been trying to
So
learn
I
languages.
took a course in Belgium right before we moved, and then I went to like round tables. When you can actually meet people that don't speak any English either, and you're trying to speak English together.
That
And
sounds terrifying.
yeah, it is. It is. But when,
Lost in
when you have to do-
translation.
Sorry, what?
I said lost in translation. It makes me think of that actually seems like a great idea, because when you're forced to communicate, you
Yeah.
are a little more careful.
Mhm.
And it makes me think of I think it was a Reddit story of a sign language instructor. 2 of his students were going to date, and he told them, okay, go on your date and everything, but only sign through the whole date. So they're in like a beginner class signing to each other, trying to date. And both of their grades shot way up after that.
Yeah, something to be said about immersion.
Yes, immersion, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to learn German, so.
It looks like Nicole and Lauren, they met Ben Pick and his wife for dinner, which is really cool.
That is so
Awesome.
cool. I love to hear people meeting and such.
That would be wonderful. I'd want Ben to bring the dog, though.
Yes,
That would be
absolutely.
good.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to listen to him.
I just, Ben, as much as I need to run, I will just be on the sidelines cheering you as you run. I will not be running in a marathon or anything. Does anybody have dreams of their work being in another language? And if so, what other language? And do you think your subject might have to change, like certain words might have to change because it's in another language? Like, for example, in the movie Inside Out, the broccoli on the pizza in San Francisco got changed to Brussels sprouts when it aired in Japan. Things like that.
Oh.
Well, Estelle's been there.
Yeah, Estelle's actually able to translate her own books, which is completely amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Our first episode of the next self-publishing tips and tricks season, and the very first one is Estelle talking about translating her work. That'll be July 1st.
Yeah, I translated. Well, the thing is that I translated my book into French, which is my mother tongue. So, I mean, it's easier for me to do that.
Yeah,
because it's my mother tongue.
There's certain there's idioms in languages and stuff that kind of just don't translate well when you do them verbatim. Like, I know in German, the direct translation is the person has birds in their head, but it really just means they're not, that there's a lot of space in there, so birds have room to fly around is kind of the way it goes. But so they're kind of like, it would, I guess we would call them, like, in America we'd call them like airheads a little bit. Not the candy, though now I want candy. Surprise and stuff. So I feel like the idioms is something that would have to change. Even fantasy.
Definitely.
Good job, buddy.
And Anya, you write your different language.
Yeah. So I write everything in English, but I have written a co-written book in Dutch and translated it into English, which is exactly what Natalie was saying. The idioms definitely is something that has to then like change a little bit. But I managed to translate it kind of okay. And some things don't translate, but you just kind of pick the most equivalent thing that would work. So
What's the
Well,
weirdest one you've had to do?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, birds or feather or something. What's the weirdest equivalent that you've had to do that really sounds off?
oh, I don't know. I'll have to go back and check because it's definitely been a while.
That'd be cool to
Um,
put into one of your videos too.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, it would be.
definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
we're giving ideas left and right. What about so with translating and such, I had a question. It was going to be a good question, I promise.
Well,
Okay.
I could answer
Okay.
that first question, which is that I think it'd be cool to have my trilogy translated into Irish, because it is for the, it's of the Irish native population there in the third century. So, I mean, I have Irish words in it and have Irish passages in it. So it'd be kind of cool to see what it would look like in Irish. But I know I don't know Irish well enough to do all that.
That would be really cool. Really good. Does anybody else really wish that they'd started doing YouTube earlier? Like
Yes.
that it took you
Yeah.
a while to kind of like, you had to be really brave and you kind of built up and you thought for ages, oh, I should do this. And then you do it and you meet all these cool people and it's really great. And you think, why didn't I just do this so long ago?
Yeah. I waited for like 2
Yeah.
years to start
Yeah.
because I started watching in 2019 and then I didn't start until 2022. So
There was
Yeah,
no
I think that's
for
about
me.
that with me as well.
The minute I decided I was going to do YouTube, I got on. Like I think I spent like a month planning my videos, but that was only because I don't like doing social media. So when I realized I have to do it for my author business, then I was like, okay, let's do this. And I went full ahead. But I wish I had started early. I wish I had realized it could have been better if I had started earlier, especially for the writing community.
Now, this little faux pas, I know we're celebrating 2 years on YouTube, but is there certain is there certain social media that y'all prefer over YouTube?
Sorry.
I was wondering
I
if we
don't-
were gonna go with barking instead of English or French or
Yeah.
German now. I don't speak barking, but yeah.
What was the question again? I couldn't hear it now.
What is there any social media that you prefer over YouTube?
Oh, well, you guys know my answer already.
Instagram?
not really. I would say Instagram is easier to post on. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't take as long or it doesn't take as much effort for me. But I still enjoy YouTube the most though. Like if everything else, like if all else fails, the only place I really post is YouTube. And then I'll ignore everything else. So
2 beers for 2 years. I don't actually like beer, but
I'm just like Shannon. I don't like social media. I'm doing that for my job because I'm a marketeer. But to be honest, I hate social media. This is the part of my job
Finding
that
the right
I
hashtags and
like the least.
Yeah, I think social media, I mean, for me anyway, it's like it can be a bit toxic. So I'm a moderator for quite a few groups, and some of it's quite toxic. The stuff you see, I'm like, so yeah, not a big social media person myself. So YouTube is the only one I'm committed to trying to make work over the long term. So I don't have enough energy to spend for everything.
if you think of it from a business perspective, I mean, besides TikTok, YouTube is one of the best ones to use as a social media platform because it is part of Google. It is indexed with Google. So
I love it. Exactly. People don't, well, not people, but generally people overlook that.
Yeah.
YouTube is going to get indexed way faster than, let's say, if you started your own website right now. So even if you had like the top whatever of some topic and you started a website devoted to that thing and it's really popular, you would still need, for Google as a search engine, it would still take you quite a few weeks or maybe even months to even start getting ranked and like getting authority and all that. Whereas if you did like YouTube, you get ranked like
right away.
much faster, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something people should not overlook.
The story origin video I made not too long ago was about maybe a month ago. Like within 2 weeks, it was at the top of the search page when I was looking up other stuff about story origin and how to do things.
It's because you blended story origin and ice cream. That's what it was.
That's the key. You don't want to go too niche.
That's right. If you blended story origin and cake, it wouldn't work. But because you chose ice cream, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it would have worked anyway. But yeah.
So, Joanne asks, "What is your favorite part of being an author tuber?" And I have to say, it's just the community. What about you guys?
I will ditto that response.
Yeah, completely. It's all you guys. You know, it's the support and people who get what you're doing. And if you're having a bad day because of something completely stupid that people just don't get, either because they're not a writer or because they're not trying to edit videos, like, it's just nice to have people who really understand and get it.
Yeah, I got like the close friends and family, but when it comes to writing, this is the group I talk to. Like, and even writing, balancing writing with the rest of my life. Like, not many people have the same job I have, but there are people who have jobs and are writing. There are people who are parents and are writing, and like, people dealing with that just gives me a little bit of a sense of community, a sense of not being alone. I know anytime I struggle with something, if someone's been there before me or is there with me, it helps push me to get past the hard part.
Yeah.
And this community, I will say, we're diverse. And not just like in as people and our genres, but like how to tackle problems and such. Like, everyone tackles, let's say, right room syndrome. Everyone tackles that differently, like exactly how they tackle it. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, put more description mixed in with your dialogue, but like, it's putting names to what you've been struggling with is helpful. Putting, she dropped my phone. And getting to a point where you, no, climb down, don't hang off the, getting like crowdsourcing ideas of how to fix it, and knowing everyone has a different approach, and it's what will work for you, what will work for your story and stuff. Like, everyone has this idea of like, there's not one big stamp. Thank you, buddy. One big stamp of the right way to do it. There isn't.
Yeah, and I think in knowing that there are other ways, so knowing that this community is here and knowing all these other ways exist, validates that whichever way you decide to approach writing and the writing process is good. It's fine, you know, because everyone does it a different way, and we still come up with stories that we love and enjoy and we feel connected to. So
there's also no judgment for like proper authors who are trad published, you know. So if you're indie published, you're trad published, you're a combination of like Moose Publishing and Goat Publishing or whatever, it's all good. It's all good in this community, you know. There's no like,
I'm Goat published, definitely.
As long as you're not like an insect published, you know, you're fine.
Oh yeah, weirdos.
But yeah, I think this community is great. Generally very accepting of broad ideas. There's very little,
and new people. It's not like we turn our back going, oh, you're new. No, we're like, oh, new person, come join us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to come on my live
You
show?
want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to join me for this? Completely overwhelming them, poor things.
I know. We become like the so in my job, there's always the old person who's been there, and the moment they see the new person, they're like, so what are your goals and aspirations? And they just start talking and like giving unsolicited advice. And I feel like that's us in a little bit. Like, so what do you write? And oh, you should get connected with this person because they also write that. And like,
yes.
And you need to do this, and you definitely need to do this. And
yeah.
And it's great. Like, I don't know anything about fiction writing, and I'm really open about that. And people are like, whatever you write, let me know, and then they'll be able to point me in whichever direction I decide to go down. Probably not romance. I'll be honest.
well, you don't want to take me on. Let's be honest, okay? We don't want to go head to head.
I can't compete with proper authors with best-selling books on Amazon. I just can't do that. You know, I got to go something really niche down, like dog romance that has cat.
Dude,
clean. Dude. I don't know.
Really?
We'll figure something out.
Well, we were talking about monster romance earlier, so you know.
There we go.
Well, we are a little bit past the hour mark. I don't want to keep you guys past what I said I would do, in case you have other lives that you need to go to. If you guys are ready to go, we'll go ahead and do some outros.
Hey, if I can ask,
Mhm.
as you do your outro, everyone name something that you learned that you didn't know before you joined AuthorTube. I think for any new people coming in.
Now we have to sit here and think about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've got one.
Oh my
So,
God.
Have you?
That we didn't know about writing or just anything in general?
Whether it's social media, whether it's writing, or whatever the case would be, something that you, before you started your AuthorTube channel, you didn't know and you learned.
I do have one. So I didn't realize, because I didn't do social media, I didn't realize that coming on YouTube that I put videos out that one way to engage was to comment. I was watching tons of videos, but one way to engage was to comment on other creators' videos. And then and then I didn't know that, some people didn't do that for like some big channels or whatever. And my first big channel I commented on was Dale, and I've got a good contact and friend in Dale now to this day, just because I did that without really realizing that some people don't do that. But some people are approachable. Dale is very approachable, but there's some bigger channels that are not approachable. So because he wasn't the only one I reached out to, there was someone else too, and that person just ignored me. So, but that's okay. I learned like, oh, okay, they're probably really busy. It's not that they don't want to be approachable. It's that when they get really big, they are really busy. So, but in people, the levels where, like Barrett Laurie, and, like he was a connecting branch to everybody. And it was through him that I learned, oh, you leave comments on other people's videos. This is how you engage and have that back and forth conversation happening and getting to know people. So that's what I learned.
Very cool.
Okay,
I didn't know that you turn your phone like that if you're filming on it for a YouTube video. My first video, I filmed like that because I didn't know. So I literally knew nothing. It was like, okay, let's just attempt it. And yeah, so my first video was filmed vertically.
Wow. Well, that could be you cut it up, and that could be a short.
It wasn't good enough to be a short, but that's very sweet of you to say.
I'll go ahead and do an outro because I'm gonna have to drop off because I have work. But I'm Natalie Locke. NatalieLockeBooks.com is my website, which links to all my social media. I'm pretty sure my YouTube page is down below, and but you can, I'm most active on IG that will reference, hey, I got this live stream happening. But one of the things that I found very important, dude, calm down, is the importance of a microphone and everything. So this was like $20 off Amazon. And when I got a camera, I got one with a microphone on it, and it just, having that quality just really helped my editing. I didn't have to edit the audio part as much. And I guess the other thing I learned besides that is like, it's okay to have mistakes in there, stumbling over words. You don't have to edit every single or whatever. Yeah. If anything, for some of my videos, I have bloopers at the beginning of it where I'm like, and it just becomes a blooper at the beginning to kind of like catch people and such, which was fun to actually kind of laugh at myself and everything. So my point is it makes you more human if you leave that in and have a good mic, because if people can't hear you, they're probably going to skip.
Yep. All right.
Yep. So I gotta go.
All right. Bye. And if you guys want to do your outros with your answers, bye, Natalie.
Right. I'm going to go on. I think what I've learned the most with YouTube is that I didn't expect to like it that much. Because I don't like social media, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give YouTube a go, and if it sticks, good. So yeah, it's been 3 years now, so I guess it's stuck. But yeah, I was very, very shy at the beginning, and being comfortable in front of the camera didn't take that long. So I mean, yeah, good.
Did you want to do your outro too?
Oh, I need to do an outro?
Yeah, we'll answer a question and do the outro, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. So first of all, congratulations, Shannon,
Thank you.
and happy YouTube anniversary. I am Estelle van de Velde. You can find me under Estelle van de Velde. And I have a book coming out on SEO for authors. It's on July 25th. There you go.
I'm still thinking about an answer for this
I know.
question. It's so hard. I feel like I've learned a lot, but I think for me the biggest thing is that I realized that it's not as scary, I guess, and that people are very nice. That is definitely something that I learned, because I think part of me was like afraid of like getting mean comments, and so far I've not really gotten that. Like on my shorts a couple, but that was just, you know, it's shorts and people get annoyed when they see videos that they don't want to see. But on like my actual videos, I think I haven't gotten like a mean comment or anything, and I think that was part of what I was scared of. So I think what I learned is that it's not as scary and people are very nice. So
I think I had someone tell me I should fix my lighting and figure out my zoom or whatever on my camera.
right, okay.
But those are the only things that mean I got regular videos.
That's not properly mean though. Like, I mean,
That's
it's not
just, like,
nice to
trying
say
to be
that. but
helpful in a way.
They're like, I would like this video, except your lighting was way off, and you really should figure out how to do that right, or something like that. I was like, okay, sure, I know exactly how to do it. That's why I did it for this video.
I've had properly mean ones, but I think it's a good lesson in just like letting it just go and just thinking, okay, those people have got problems.
Exactly.
Delete and move on.
Yeah. And I think like in general, it's just great to have like, you know, those really lovely comments. So that's what I focus on. So yeah, in a way it's like instant gratification. Post a video and you get like comments, and
I just heart
great.
them and like them and just go on from there now.
Oh, that's so
Fair.
nice.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with nice, but the algorithm, right? Add a little bit boost to the algorithm. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I try to reply to every comment I get. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to comment on my videos, you can find my videos at Hananya Leclerc on YouTube. I'm also everywhere on the internet with the same name. And you can also find my
Everywhere
podcast.
on the internet. I love that.
Yes. And my podcast is 3 Writing Amigas, and you can find that as well. And yeah, it's my outro.
Well, I gave my thing that I didn't know. Actually, I gave 2, I think. Thank you so much, Shannon, for inviting me to come and share in your celebrations with you. Well done on 2 years. And thank you so much for everything that you've done for me personally and for the community as a whole. I can't begin to imagine the amount of information that you have given to everybody and how you've helped me. And I know that we really, really appreciate you. I'm Emma Bennett. I'm a UK-based writer, and I have an AuthorTube channel, which may be linked down below at some point. But if Shannon does not get around to it, which is completely fine because she's a busy lady, just remember Emma Bennett and look that up, because we have a lot of fun over on my channel, especially in the lives, because as my husband says, I shouldn't go live. You never know what's going to happen.
Cool. I'm Andy. Easy Graphics is my channel. I do most things about self-publishing and just sharing my journey, what I know, my experiences. And congratulations to Shannon on her 2-year anniversary and also getting monetized. I think it's a major win. So congratulations. And like Emma said, huge amounts of input that you share of the community. We are very grateful. I'm sure I speak for everyone in the chat. That we are very grateful for all your help and everything you do for the community. A couple of things I learned on YouTube: you got to have the audio. That's like number one, and then the visual can come later. But the audio is number one. And the other thing I learned early on when I got one of my videos roasted badly was that you have to target the right audience. So I made a video that wasn't getting the right audience, and I got roasted by the people I didn't want to target in the first place. So there we go. That's 2 things I learned on YouTube.
well, thank you guys so much for joining me and saying yes for those who were able to make it. I asked other people as well, and then I had to stop because I was like, I'm gonna have too many people if I keep asking people. So yeah, I'm so grateful that all of you guys are here, and you guys make this community worth being part of. So a couple more comments put up there. Oh, thank you. And yeah, learn a lot from everybody. And I learn a lot. I think it's part of my Clifton strengths. I like learning stuff and then sharing information. So it's just part of my personality, I guess, to do that. So, but I enjoy it. I do it because I think it's fun. I think it's not just fun. It's I feel good about it. So sharing information. So yeah. Thank you guys for coming and joining me today. I am going to hit end broadcast. I do not have an outro plan to play. So we are going to say goodbye. Bye, everyone.